Good morning, and welcome to this week's episode of the Real Estate Circuit. I am your host, Nonso Umezoke, and in the studio with me this morning is my co-host, John Morumfolo. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Nonso. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. How's your week been?
Completely amazing.
Okay.
Yes. Today, the topic on the Real Estate Circuit is mortgage accessibility in Nigeria. A myth or a reality? Oftentimes, we hear stories about mortgage. Is it available in Nigeria? Is it working? How many people have been able to access mortgage in Nigeria? Is the mortgage system actually performing up to the standards expected? In the studio with us today is a veteran in the mortgage area. His experience spans from real estate, consultancy, oil and gas. Mr. Elvis Iteogu is our guest on today's episode of the Real Estate Circuit, and he is the head of sales, finance and strategy for FEMAB Properties. He had previously worked with several mortgage homes in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our guest for today, Mr. Elvis Iteogu. Welcome, Elvis.
Thank you. Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man.
Welcome, Mr. Elvis.
Thank you, John.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'll let John start with you.
Okay, John.
Mr. Elvis, I would like to ask, is mortgage really accessible in Nigeria?
Okay, I would say, I'll start by saying mortgage is accessible, but there's a but in there. And that but is because of the who can access mortgage and how you can access mortgage. Mortgage in Nigeria could be tagged as a myth, not really a reality, because there are some hurdles that we need to surpass, which we haven't really gotten at this point in time. But we'll have to really work to ensure that we get to that point of making mortgage accessible in Nigeria.
When you talk about the hurdles, I want to believe you're talking about things like the pre-qualification process.
Yes.
For a prospect to access,
to be able to access
mortgage.
The mortgage, yes.
What are those? Because in mortgage, I keep hearing pre-qualification, mortgage requirements. Can you enumerate or list some of these requirements and some of this pre-qualification that seem to be obstacles in a majority of Nigerians accessing mortgage?
Okay, let me start. Let's go to the financial institution. For mortgage to leave its time, we must go through the right financial institution, which are the mortgage banks. They are called the PMIs. What they do in Nigeria, it's most of our PMIs, they come through the parent bank. Some of the parent bank, they will establish a primary mortgage institution that will have to run mortgages. But there are still some of those banks that still have a mortgage department inside of them, in-house. So what are these pre-qualification requirements?
So I take it like when you say PMI, I take it like FBN Mortgages
is a PMI.
Is a primary mortgage institution. And the parent institution is First Bank itself. Fantastic.
Thank you. So what they do is they pre-qualify every individual that needs to get mortgage. What do? They want to see how much you earn. You must be on a regular monthly salary.
What if you're an entrepreneur?
We will get to that position. Entrepreneurial.
Because I'm an entrepreneur and I've not been able to access mortgage.
Yes, because of one very good reason.
Why?
This reason is your monthly constant income. Entrepreneurs don't have a specific amount that they get every month. It could be opted, it could come down, it could go very, very high.
So are you saying that mortgage is just for people that have a regular stream of income?
Yes, mortgage is for people that have regular stream of income.
That means mortgage is not for everybody?
No, not primarily that. Let me take it this way. If you have regular income and you can prove that that income would come in regularly, if you have other means of income, for example, entrepreneurs that have rental incomes,
or even entrepreneurs that have structured businesses that draw a salary.
That draws a salary, yes. Good. Most of our entrepreneurs in Nigeria, they actually see themselves as a company. Whereas what you're supposed to do is to have their paid salary from the company. If you own your business, for example, what you do is, at the end of the month, I'm supposed to earn X amount, and that should come to you as a salary. So anytime the mortgage bank asks you, what is your salary? You have it. You have it debited from the company's account
And you
into
have
your
a pay
salary.
slip.
You have your pay slip. So that works. So for the pre-qualification requirements, they want to see your regular income, where you work, how much of this money you earn. Let me go a little bit into the mortgage parts. For every mortgage that you will take before they will say you're qualified, you must be able to earn back home 1/3 of your salary. If you have any amount, your net income, 1/3 of that money should take you home, should be in your account before they can say, okay, let's start discussing mortgage. Because some people...
When you say take you home, are you referring to disposable income?
Your disposable income.
Okay.
Thank you. For your disposable income, you should have 1/3 of it that would be readily available after all deductions are done, including the mortgage. Because if you don't have that, they will tell you you cannot qualify. Because a lot of people, even from blue chip companies, would have collected money from their cooperative, would have collected staff loans. At the end of the day, when they see the net that is hitting their account, and they look at what your
principal you're supposed to pay back every month and the interest element,
it becomes an issue. So those are what they do at the pre-qualification stage. They want to see all this and know where you work. That's very, very vital to every mortgage bank that will want to run mortgage. They want to see, okay, what is the status of that employee in that place? Are you a casual employee?
Worker,
are you
contract?
yes, contract? Are you a full-time staff? All those items should be looked at.
How do you present this to a layman, somebody that is just there, that doesn't understand all of these technical terms, how he can access mortgage, just in the very simple layman's language?
Okay, I'll take us through the bodies of mortgage in Nigeria, which is the financial institution, which are commercial banks that also have their PMIs, and also the Federal Mortgage Bank. The Federal Mortgage Bank acts as the the regulatory authority for all PMIs. So for a layman, when I advise or when we give consultants, we want to tell you the best cost at which you can get mortgage, because mortgage comes at a cost. For the financial institution, the mortgage price is a little bit higher than what you get from the Federal Mortgage Bank. The Federal Mortgage Bank is controlled by the federal government, and the rates are minimal. It's still in the single digits. Still in the single digit. For individuals, you get about 6% interest repayment, and you have up to 25 years to pay back that loan, and you also have a minimum deposit that you make. So for you to be able to explain to the layman, you want to see where he falls into. But this layman cannot just walk up to the Federal Mortgage Bank
and
to
avail him.
He must go through the PMI. He must go through the PMI.
But for the Federal Mortgage Bank,
yes,
which is where the average Nigerian, the layman, can access mortgage,
yes,
at a cheaper rate, a single digit, with a lower down payment, there is a problem. The Federal Mortgage Bank has a specified amount they must not exceed. Now, we know the cost of houses in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Some of these loans from Federal Mortgage Bank are 5 million, 10 million, 12 million.
In the recent time, it's been pegged as 15 million maximum. 15 million maximum.
Let's take an idea, for instance.
Okay.
Any layman in Lagos with 15 million naira, what can he buy? And
Good.
Where can he buy into using
Okay.
a Federal Mortgage Bank loan?
From my introduction, I actually head the sales and business development for FEMAB Properties strategy. I've moved. We have properties scattered around Lagos, and for every property price, you go from location. That's what determines the property price. So if we're looking at what can I buy, we're looking at our surroundings. Mowe, a lot of people are going in there. Arepo, a lot of people are going there. Ikorodu area. Then even some people will say, well, I want to stay on the island. We could take a shift to the Akodo side, close to the Lagos, Lekki free trade zone. The place is really coming up. You could get houses ranging from between 7 million houses. I didn't just say land, from 7 million to 14 million in those areas.
Within the Lekki free trade zone?
Within the Lekki free.
6 to 14 million naira.
Within 7 to 14 million.
14 million naira.
Yes.
For houses.
For houses.
Bungalows, 2, 3 bed.
Bungalows, semi-detached. Bungalows, fully detached houses, and also you could get some block of flats.
Let me ask you.
Okay.
On what kind of property can you create a mortgage on? Fully built up houses, off-plan, or actually on a bare piece of land?
Okay, for mortgages, let's take it that no bank gives money to go buy bare land. That means you should have either inherited that land, or the land was given to you as a gift, or you somehow had bought the land. So you have that as your own equity contribution, first of all, to say, I want to start building. Then next on the rule, it's for a bank to be able to give you a facility, they want to see the house standing. So that what they will do is to use that property as the collateral for the loan.
But a bank can use an empty plot of land if it's in a prime location.
I'm actually going there. I'm actually going there. But lately, we had always, from the real estate developers, we've always fought them that we cannot, at every given time, have the houses standing. There are some banks now presently that do what they call construction financing. They finance the project from scratch. They don't even see it. They finance the project from scratch to completion, but they monitor the project as the project goes on. What do? They ensure they have the bill of quantity, that's the pricing to build the house. They'll provide a project manager, someone that would monitor that project. So all these things put together will ensure, even on that...
While construction is still subsisting.
Yes, where construction is subsisting, the person is building. And
right.
the work is going on.
Mr. Elvis, we'd like to take a short break now.
Okay.
Dear viewers, you can call us on the number that is scrolling on your screens right now as we take this break.
You can now watch R2TV online at royalrootstv.com and on your smartphones by downloading the R2TV app for Android, BlackBerry, apps for iOS devices and Windows Mobile from the respective app stores. R2TV, entertainment at its best, entertainment everywhere.
Yeah, welcome back to the Real Estate Circuit on R2TV. We still have with us here Mr. Elvis and my colleague, Barrister Nonso.
We're still discussing mortgage.
Yeah.
What is the interest rate today in Nigeria in terms of people who want to access mortgage? What is the average interest rate from the financial institutions?
From the financial institution, as I've always been talking, I like breaking them down so that people know where to go into to access this. One, the commercial bank, which is a regular bank that everybody see around. And two, the PMIs. Then three, the Federal Mortgage Bank. So the interest rate presently now, it's a range depending on the bank which you're going into. So you have the range from 21% up to 28%.
21%?
For a mortgage.
For a mortgage. That is the problem. That's the problem. No, let me take you one after the other. So if you go into a PMI, the PMI try to, let me say
what's
struggle.
a PMI to those guys out
Primary Mortgage Institution. That's the mortgage bank itself, the primary mortgage institution. The PMI would struggle, I still say it sometimes, struggle between 18% and 24%. Reasons not far-fetched from the monies that are available are what I tag hot money, getting short-term funds to finance long-term projects. So
Precisely.
that's where the burden is. But for the federal government, which the Federal Mortgage Bank, please, you could get a 6%. It's a single digit. It relaxes everybody. But the problem, there's a problem there. The federal government allocates a certain amount every year. And as soon as that allocation is exhausted, if we have, for example, 30 people and 5 people can qualify for that amount and it's exhausted, it's finished. You went to the next allocation. That's the problem. So we have to now look at our savings culture. That's why we have to take us back to the primary mortgage institution. They have products that each of them do that aids savings. So with that type of savings, what you could do is you have a planned project that you want to buy, you save towards that. So for those savings accounts, what the primary mortgage bank will be doing is paying you an interest that is low. So by the time you are ready to collect your loan, you would not be paying that excessive interest. That's why they are a little bit lower than normal commercial bank.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you're telling us that interest rate ranges anywhere between 21 to 24%, and the PMIs are struggling even with that rate band. What is the normal tenor for these mortgages in Nigeria?
Okay.
What's the normal tenor? That's my first question.
Okay.
The second question is, in jurisdictions like America, where owning a home or home ownership is everybody's American dream for Americans,
Yeah.
mortgage tenors are normally between 30 to 33 years, 25 years, and it's single digit. Now, how are we going to achieve home ownership in Nigeria?
Okay. Thank you.
Running on 21 to 24% and running on what tenor? For how long are these mortgages?
Okay, for the Nigerian banks, most of the banks, because we wouldn't be advertising for the banks now, but most of the banks, they don't want to give a mortgage in excess of 5 years.
60 months.
60 months. They don't want to. A lot of them struggle to. But we have some few out of the numbers that had worked with some real estate developers, and they are doing within 0 years and 20 years. So you have a 20 years boundary. But an advice, because I always tell us what is available, an advice is if you're going through the stretch of the 20 years and you're looking at the interest rates which you're going to pay for that 20 years, despite the fact it's going to be on the reducing balance, whatever the balance is on your account is what you pay interest rate. But when you do the calculation and you put that amount on the mortgage scheduler, what they call what calculates mortgage, you see how much you'll be paying for that property, which even if you look at it, you just decide to go get money from somewhere and pay out within the next 5 years because of the ripple effect of what you'll be paying as principal plus interest at the end of the day. But for the Federal Mortgage Bank, which will be what I like talking about, but the Federal Mortgage Bank, you would pay very low, 6%. Everybody wants to get it. I have benefited from it.
Congratulations.
I have benefited from it. So it's something everybody wants to get, and I tell us it's the repayment is so easy compared to what you're saying. When you take us back to a more developed countries, American and the UK, a lot of people want to go into mortgage because they have very attractive interest rates, and also they have a very long tenure. With that long tenure, you can even refinance when you're not even comfortable with that tenure. You can say, okay, I don't have this for now. Let's do it this way and get this other fund to get from other funds to buy out this one, and you're paying another mortgage. There are several steps that you can take to enjoy.
Mr. Elvis, the National Housing Fund that the federal government put in place and the mortgage system, the mortgage finance system, how has it benefited the common Nigerian?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. John. A lot of people, when you don't have information is power. But when you don't have it, you just live in ignorance. The advice to all Nigeria, irrespective of what you do, even as a sole proprietorship and entrepreneur, you should have a savings with the Federal Mortgage Bank. Everybody.
But then we don't have their outlets all over the place.
We do. What we don't have is because we're not informed. For every state in Nigeria, at least I know they have in each local government.
Oh, are you saying there's a Federal Mortgage Bank in every local government in Lagos?
That's what should be from the Constitution. But for management reason, which I wouldn't know why, they just have it in some locations. For Lagos, for example, I know there is a Federal Mortgage Bank in Ikeja, there is in Apapa, there is the head office at Marina, then they just opened one in the Lekki-Aja area. So that's a federal mortgage.
So you're saying that Nigerians that want funds for housing, mortgage, they should open accounts with Federal Mortgage Bank?
Yes, they should do that. Let me even say that if you're in a paid employment, For the federal mortgage bank, because you'll be thinking, how would I be saving? How can I withdraw this money? The money is just 1% of your basic salary. Just 1% of your basic salary. But if you work on your own, you could just tell them every month, I want to be paying X amount. X amount means as low as 5 naira, as low as 50 naira, as low as 200 naira.
I'm actually trying to talk about the people in the marketplace, the people that sells on the street, the people that have flow of income coming, not regular stream of income where you have salaries. I'm talking about people that make money
on pure water.
Pure water.
That's what I want to say.
How will you structure a mortgage for such people?
That's going to be a little bit difficult. For mortgage, not for everybody, definitely. Mortgage is not for everybody. But what you should know or have behind your mind is, if I have a regular savings that could repay at a particular time, then why wouldn't I go for a mortgage?
So it's all about regular savings, not a normal stream of salaries.
It's all about a normal stream of income and what do you call it, savings culture.
I believe that people who want to aspire towards a mortgage must have a strong savings culture,
sure.
Considerable financial discipline, and focus to work towards what they want. It's a bit complex and technical, because with mortgage you hear things like down payment, principal being owed, interest element, foreclosure, and all kinds of things, legal mortgage, equitable mortgage. That brings me to the next question.
Okay.
If you go to jurisdictions like the United Kingdom and America, they have mortgage brokers, because it's quite technical. We don't see mortgage brokers around in Nigeria, because what a mortgage broker does is to intermediate between the man who wants to access a mortgage and the mortgage banks. And he's able to show you a snapshot of, if we go to A bank, this is the interest we'll get. If we go to B bank, this is what we'll get. These are the tenors. He helps you shop for a mortgage.
Not only that, he even helps you out, informs you, and gives you enough information, communicates to you on how well you can even get those mortgages.
So, do we have mortgage brokers in Nigeria? Because I think they will help the situation.
They will help the situation. We do have mortgage brokers, but because the business of mortgage is not really striving in Nigeria, so a lot of them are laid back. Except you go, even while in the mortgage banks, we hardly find them come around, because the man that needs the mortgage thinks they are expensive, that they're going to pay them. That's me to access a mortgage, I will pay the broker a fee. Why not go directly to the mortgage bank? Because they don't have that information, that with the mortgage broker, he gives you the best interest, the cheapest cost. But like we've been saying since morning, the issue of mortgage, how many people can really access this mortgage? So the very few ones that wants to meet their brothers and their sisters in the bank and just deal with them directly, and because of that relationship, they believe that one would help them get the money out easy. So the mortgage brokers are relegated to the background, so they do other businesses. But we do have them. We have a few of them
around.
Yes, around.
Another question I have for you is, a lot of the PMIs and the financial institutions are actually reluctant to avail mortgages. Okay. And I had a conversation with one of them recently, and they said even when you avail the mortgage to the person and the person starts to default and you want to exercise your right of foreclosure, they run to the courts and get an injunction and restrain you, and for the next 5-6 years you're in court and they're living in the house and there's reporting on your books. How has this impacted the mortgage?
That's part of why this topic is a very crucial one, to get people informed about mortgages. A lot of this thing happen. But the mortgage banks, they become so smart these days that what they do for you, for them to disburse, to release the money to you, they would have ensured you've signed off your rights to those completely. That if they request for the money for the first time, the request for the next time, and the last warning is done, you see your property up for sale.
Without any recourse.
Without any recourse, nothing. Even the courts cannot at that point in time. So that's why mortgage these days in Nigeria is tough.
Nowadays, they don't put themselves in a position to perfect. They actually perfect and take out a legal mortgage.
Let's even talk about these types of mortgages. We have the legal mortgage. Legal mortgage is a mortgage whereby the document, the title of that property is perfected. You have it perfected in the name of the person. But what the banks do these days is they perfect it in their name / you.
Yeah.
So for anything to happen, you first of all,
in the lease agreement.
You first of all get to the financial institution and say, so they perfect that document in the name. Until the day you make full payment, then they revert it back to you.
Then they do a deed of discharge.
A deed of discharge.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iteogu, for taking out time to be with us this morning. It has been very educative and instructive. I've picked up things I didn't even know about mortgage, and we appreciate your taking out time to join us this morning.
Thank you very much, Nancy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have been speaking with Mr. John Iteogu, and we have been discussing on mortgage accessibility in Nigeria. Is it a myth or a reality? A lot of people believe that for Nigerians, and a lot of Nigerians to get on the property market and on getting to own homes, that we need to actually do access mortgage. We have to be able to access mortgage. But why are we not accessing the mortgage? That's why we brought in the expert to discuss with us today. And it ranges from a lot of factors. Some of us have very weak savings culture. Some of us do not even know where to start. Again, takes us back to the issue of lack of knowledge and education. Another thing also has to do with the financial institutions. Being able to access the right mix of the funds to be able to avail these mortgage loans and avail it at a longer tenor. So, whatever it is, mortgage has come to Nigeria. Though it's still in its early stages, it has come to stay. The federal government and the Federal Ministry of Finance has also taken steps to make sure that they help the mortgage system in Nigeria to grow. So what we need to do is to go to the nearest federal mortgage bank around us, get on the internet, find out where is the nearest one to you, walk in, get the process, get started, start saving, ask questions, and go visit a couple of PMIs and find out how to get on the property market using a mortgage. It's been nice having you with us this week. It's been nice having you with us this week, and we hope that we'll be able to see you again same time next week. John?
Thank you very much, Nonso. Mr. Elvis, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.